everyone, and welcome to Lying Around Connecticut with Carol and Harry. I am Carol Kearns. My husband, Harry Shue, is our co-host. Our mission for the show is twofold: to provide information about Connecticut Lions events and to showcase the many different organizations and causes that Lions support locally, regionally, and internationally. Harry?
Good evening and welcome. Please consult our website at www.lions23b.org or your district spirit for more information on coming events.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Lying Around Connecticut with Carol and Harry.
We are back at the New England Lions Council Winter Meeting, which was held in the Norwich Holiday Inn in Norwich, Connecticut. And we are picking up with the seminar that I had the pleasure of doing with past District Governor Dave Roberts. It's a wonderful tool that we acquired, GoToMeeting and GoToWebinar for training. So, on with the show.
On Evo.
Begin your meeting a few minutes early, before the scheduled start time. Mute your microphone until the meeting starts. Edit your welcome message. Manage the chat audience. Choose whether you're going to use your telephone or your computer as mic and speakers.
We found for the presenter it's better to use just one and not the cell phone and the computer, because you get feedback, and that's been an issue we've learned the hard way.
You are ready to begin your meeting.
So you can show the screen and bring up whatever you want on the screen.
Questions or comments?
And then the people that choose to show their video, you can see them around the screen here. So you'll see everybody's face or whatever they use.
Dave has been very brave, I must say. Every meeting that I've attended with him there, he's been right up on top of the screen.
Okay? Any questions on that?
Is there a time limit when you just had a meeting? Is it set to an hour, or can you go 3 hours?
So when you schedule a meeting, you can set it for however length. So 30 minutes is the shortest you set it for.
Right.
But you can set it, I usually choose to set it for a longer period of time than you're hoping to go, just so that you have it available so somebody doesn't schedule over top of you or anything. So, yes.
I use WebEx, and I know in WebEx it depends on what type of subscription you're at. Is it the same with GoToMeeting? You have WebEx has a free subscription that you can have like 20-minute meetings. If you want an hour meeting, you've got to buy in.
This you can have, it gives you a choice of how long you want. So with our license that MD23 holds, you can have long, and we can use it as long as it's available. We can use it as much as we want for the meeting with the presenter plus 25 people. Fred or Ellen? Fred?
Yeah. Question, how much? What's the cost?
The cost was again, it was a one-user license, so we were sharing it. You can buy, of course, multiple licenses, but since it was our first shot using this, I decided that we would go with the least expensive option. It's $89 a month, so for 12 months it was $1,068, split 3 ways, comes out to $368, I think.
Basically $30 a month for all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, $89 to $30 a month for each district. And we haven't, even though we've used it quite a bit, I think, especially for something that's new to the district, we haven't run into any situations where there has been a conflict. Whenever we've gone to scheduled meetings, it's worked great. And the question was the length of the meeting. That hasn't been an issue either.
DDG Frank?
If you notice, it says GoToMeeting and it says GoToWebinar. When you download the apps, there are 2 different apps. Can you just kind of address that?
So the GoToMeeting one is the one that we utilize for any type of meeting that you're going to have or be invited to. The webinar is for training purposes. But when you log in through one, and you can get to both of them.
So, and your separate licenses?
No, it's one license.
That's the cost is for one license. The GoToMeeting is almost like a a throw-in.
Because I thought the question was going to be from one of you, why don't you just use Skype, it's free. Well, we really bought this for GoToWebinar. GoToMeeting has been kind of like the gravy for us, because we've been able to use it more for meetings so far than webinars, but we've been able to record those meetings, which is great. So, so we really like it. Yes?
I have a question with regards to the meeting. If a person cannot be at the meeting, you are recording, they can go back at another time and see what happened at the meeting?
Yes.
They can?
Yes. So, for example, we did for District 23B, we made a club secretary training video for those that didn't have the opportunity to go in person. So we had two very experienced club secretaries actually get together at one of their homes and recorded this with many club secretaries on the phone to make an audience, because we wanted feedback and questions and that type of stuff. So the people that couldn't then make it, they then have it, or could have it if they wanted to. The only thing, and again, because of all the new, you always get those things about privacy now, and you got to click the box that, yeah, you read it. If you open a GoToMeeting or a GoToWebinar recording, it will ask you to record your name and your email address. And the only reason it does that is to find out who is accessing your material. And so I just warn people that it's going to ask you that question. I've not met anybody so far other than my daughter that keeps giving out her name and email address. But it's just one little quirk that it does do. I saw another hand. Yes?
I think Fred had a question. Fred?
Just say Skype, our district has had experience with that. You all have to be on the same version of Skype, and it changes very often, and so it was really buggy. We had a lot of trouble making it work.
Question, you were saying that you had to have upload, but you could adapt it to something else. Maybe
Well,
it's using constant contact.
Yeah, it's just a copy and paste. What it does when you schedule a meeting, it brings up a little window that has the details of, up to the code that you have to key in if you're dialing in. So you can just take that information and copy it into any email program.
So our tech George could
absolutely just a copy and paste, just a copy and paste and send it out that way.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, constant contact gets everybody
Yes.
with an email address.
Correct. Yep.
Here, just a second, one second. So again, there's either meeting or webinars. So Harry holds the license, so you actually see his name, I guess, when it shows up when whoever you have to schedule.
I changed that to a line of generic and 23 license
right.
name.
So,
but there was the one license, so one username, one password.
So on behalf of our multiple, he's the holder of it, and then we've encouraged each district to have a go-to person that can kind of promote this at your cabinet meetings to say, hey, we've got this great tool. It can be used for meeting or webinar. So both Harry and I try to do it for 23B, and then you just contact them, and the point of contact just goes out to make sure that it's not being used for another purpose. And if it's not, you can then just it just takes seconds to actually schedule a meeting. And you just put the title in, you put the date, the time, and any other key information, the duration that you want to use the service for, and I usually make it longer just to make sure that nobody overschedules me. And so, anyways, and then it's just to go with that. So, do we want to try the next?
So we're on to.
Yep.
Now, you're not an administrator, but you're somebody who wants to do a treasure training session. What do you need to be able to do that? What's one of the features of webinar that we've been talking about is the PowerPoint. So how is this different from Dave and I being up here giving this PowerPoint presentation? We're here. We can do the gestures, we can talk loud, we can talk soft. I mean, you can look at us as well as looking at the PowerPoint presentation. When you're doing a webinar, what are people going to be focused on? They're looking at their screen at the PowerPoint. So, you've probably seen these before. If you've gone to anything on effective presentations, they talk about effective PowerPoint presentations. But I thought I would include this again just to remind you that it's important that your PowerPoint presentation be effective as you're doing this webinar. So, just a few bullets here. Know your subject. You know, if you're going to be doing a webinar on secretary, district secretary, or club secretary, you should be able to effectively present that and be able to answer the questions that are going to come with the presentation.
And just to say, for the secretary one that we did in our district, we actually did a practice session just with the two presenters, because this was our first time out of the gate, and we wanted this to be a home run, and so we wanted to make sure everything was comfortable. And you still have glitches, and I think it was PCC Kathy that emailed us and said, how come the presenters are cut in half? Because they had their camera between the two of them, and so we saw half of one and half of the other. And we said, could one of you sit in front of the camera when you're speaking, or just move the camera or something? So it's just, those are the types of things that didn't happen when we did the trial session. So the trial session, they were each at their own home, and both their pictures popped up when we did the trial session. So you have to learn these things, but it's good to do a practice session if it's something important that you're going to be sharing with other people.
Yeah, for any PowerPoint, rehearse. Know your audience, know the level. If you've got people who are secretaries that are new to the club, you might want to do something a little bit simpler. Highlight what's important and keep slides simple. And we tried to follow this rule as we did this PowerPoint presentation. You don't want a slide where everyone's going to be reading the slide and not following along. And I think that's especially important when you're doing something remotely. Because if you're not there, if you're not listening to me, even if I'm reading stuff, you're just going to be looking at that slide like you're looking at the television, and you're going to, just not be listening to anything else that's going on.
And that's why, again, you can have, if they show their video, so you can see their picture to see, are they focused? Sometimes when you're on a video teleconferencing and there's like a blank, and it's like, where did you go? And so it's good to do that. You can also do a little thing to have people give responses back to make sure they're paying attention, so you can have like a voting type thing. So there's different options you can do to make sure that you're keeping people's attention. And even the presenter who has the list of who has logged in, as long as they've given a name, because sometimes when they call in via telephone, they don't always, all you see is like caller 13, you don't see who it actually is. But the presenter can actually say, like, hey, BDG Allen, did you get that? Do you have any questions? Just to make sure that everybody, you can single them out.
If you do use photos and graphics, make sure they're high quality. Nothing worse than having blown out photos or blurry photos. Again, charts and graphs. So anything you can do, of course, in a PowerPoint presentation, you can do as part of your webinar. Choose appropriate fonts. You don't want anything that's too small. Make sure that your fonts are appropriate in size so that people can read them. Color, again, you want to use color effectively. You don't want everything just blown out on people. Clean and simple formatting. Carol, I know, finds nothing worse than reading signs that are in some kind of a script font that you can't read. So you end up spending more time trying to decipher the words than you do understanding what it's saying. So use clean and simple formatting.
But I follow the script.
Okay, delivery, and I think this is key for webinars. You're behind the scenes here with your PowerPoint. Your PowerPoint is actually the focal point of what you're doing. So your delivery is really as important as the content. And then slow down. Some people, they talk too fast and you can't understand what they're doing and what they're saying. So slow it down, pause, use inflection. All the things we learned about with effective presentations in general. And don't speak in monotone. Nothing worse than that. It seems like you're reading your presentation.
So we began talking about the challenges of communications. And we wanted to help you all understand what we're trying to do to overcome that in Connecticut. And we wanted a tool, and we tell this as we go out and speak at Zooms and at clubs and even at our cabinet meeting. This is a tool that all Lions have available that they can use for a local club, because I've heard of a few clubs that have snowbirds and they go off to Florida or Georgia for the winter. Well, set your computer up on your, wherever you're meeting, and let them participate while they're away. Don't let that be an excuse for not being there. So it had to be a tool really for all Lions to use. We wanted something that wasn't too costly but was high quality, and so this is the product that we chose, and it has worked for us in Connecticut, local district 23. So, and then the last slide, one more slide. Oh, sorry, one more slide. Before I get to questions, go one more slide. Yeah. Right here. So if you want either of us to come and talk about this, or we can go to meeting in, but here's our contact information, so get your cameras out, take a picture of that. And but either of us, both of us, are available. And I think, as you heard, this is going to be a Lion Around Connecticut show. So you can also get a copy of that, which is on Charter Communications. And but we're glad to come and talk, because I'd like to hear any questions, and I know Harry would. But we get some people that are afraid of new things, or of doing things a little bit differently. I've actually got a woman from a very established club. I was recently at a funeral for one of their members, and I've gotten to know this woman. And she said to me, I've got 5 people. They come to all our service events, but they don't want to join Lions because they hate meetings. And I said, have them join our district-wide cyber club as a branch, and they can be associates of your club. So we have them come in. We have another club that's a very established club that has one of the higher dues because it includes all their meals. We have 5 people there. It takes 5 to start a branch. So we have people there that don't want to pay for their meals because they work out of the area and they feel that it's just a waste, but they want to participate. Again, they're looking at forming a cyber branch to that club so that they can join but not have to go. And in the branch club, you have your own president, you have your own treasurer, you have your own treasury in a branch club. The branch president gets a seat automatically on the home club board. So branching could be an option. And the home club provides a liaison to the branch club. And so it's a great way. We're always looking under that last thing about what can we do to be more flexible in North America, and particularly in the United States. What can we do? This is a tool that might be part of the solution. So you BDGs that are putting together your plans, this might be something you want to include in your plans and get in the budget, because I know you're all working on your upcoming year's budgets. And this is a real low cost, but I think high productivity tool.
Yeah, and I think as we move more towards specialty clubs, our focus is through LCI is we need to get people together to join clubs or form clubs that are based on ethnicity. We talked about the Nepalese clubs, or specialty skills, talents that they want to meet with people who have similar abilities or similar interests. So it's not so much the community anymore. If you think about the community, a young person's community, it's more the social media. Who am I connecting with? It's not a geographical community. So to do meetings effectively with a club like that, what kind of tool do you need? You're not going to be meeting at the local restaurant for pizza meals. You're going to need something like a go-to meeting or a go-to webinar to have that club run effectively. And I think PDG Dave is doing a great job with the Leo Cyber Club. Again, that club couldn't function without a tool like this.
And I know he's not here right now, but I want to give kudos also to our current international director, Mark Lyon, because he has been a big champion of finding new, effective ways. Because one of the things, too, is not only, we talked about this in the last session, not only do you want to bring in new members, but you want to retain members. And how can you retain members? And one of the challenges, and I heard people talking at the last session about people aging, and we're all aging, but this is also a tool that if you set up a district-wide cyber club, some people don't drive anymore, but they could participate by being a member of the cyber club. In Connecticut, we have low vision centers for the entire state, and we give enhanced technology tools so that they can see screens, and we give this to them free once they get a script from their eye care professional. And so there's tools that they can get to see and participate and do. And so there's workarounds we hope to address a lot of them. But you've got to have questions out here, so give me questions. So start here. Yes?
What do these cyber clubs do for service projects?
All right, so let me tell you about Cyber Leos. We have had 2 meetings, December 16th and December 30th. We've already elected our 5 officers. We have endorsed 2 service projects. So the first service project is the towels for puppies that Lion Peter Nevers is championing for our district. And so we've set a goal for our 14 Leos of getting 100 bath towels for Fidelco. Fidelco said one of their biggest needs is towels for their German Shepherd puppies. And so we've adopted that as one of our projects. And so we created a poster that we sent out, and we told the Leos to give this to family and ask your parents to maybe post it like in the library, gather the towels, and then fly in Cindy Daniels, who is my co-advisor, or I will come and pick up your towels, or we'll bring them to Midwinter, where we're having a big Leos event there. So that's an option, or we can actually take them directly to Fidelco. So that's the first project we adopted. The second project we adopted is childhood cancer is one of our 5 global goals right now. And our childhood cancer chair came up with 2 really great projects. But one of the projects is purchasing toys, games, stuffed animals for the pediatric cancer unit at Connecticut Children's Medical Center. If you don't know, every unit there has a closet. In that pediatric cancer, when the kids go, they have to give blood. Of course, nobody likes to give blood, but especially kids. So that doctors or nurses or technicians will say, look at the closet there. Is there something in that closet you'd like? Yeah, I want that big stuffed animal. You can have that stuffed animal if you'll give us blood. So currently, the closet's full because it's the holiday season, but this goes throughout the year. And so we applied, and our month is the month of March to deliver our stuff to the club. But we're getting the word out now because things are 75 to 90% off if you are a good shopper. And so that's a project we have adopted. Another one we're adopting that we haven't officially as a Cyber Leos is an environmental project. And under that project, each Leo with their parent or school advisor or whoever will go out in their area and do a project. They'll take a picture and send it to their Lion Cindy or myself, and we'll give them a service letter based on that picture and authorization. Like I did 3 hours of a cleanup in our area. See, I remember our Cyber Leos are spread throughout Litchfield and Harford County, which may not be a great distance to you, but it's a great distance to us. It's from the New York border all the way to East Hartford. So it's big for us geographically. So that's how we're handling service. We're also trying to bring on interesting speakers to motivate the kids. So we started with our district governor, who bragged that we're the first Cyber Leos club in all New England, the 6th in the U.S., and the 15th in the world. There's only 15 Cyber Leo clubs so far. So it's just a great way to get involved. The Cyber Lions Club will basically do it the same way. For Cyber Lions, it's mostly a retiree club, and these are people that have turned us down in the past, and we said, hey, pay this minimal dues. Maybe consider when we send you a request for making a contribution to LCIF for something that's going on. Like right now, our local news club is collecting money for the typhoon victims in the Philippines. Maybe you'd like to contribute to this effort. But they're not necessarily service people in the Cyber Lions Club, because somebody mentioned age before. Probably the average age in our Cyber Lions Club is 80 to 85. But they want to belong to the Lions, which is great. So, all right, questions?
So you belong to a district-wide cyber club, but you want to participate in service activities in your hometown? How do those two coordinate?
So, again, we, to get started, set up a district-wide cyber club. For example, this woman that I met has 5 people, and what we're suggesting, and it has to be Simsbury, just so you want to know, we're saying we will house them in our Cyber Lions Club, so they're members of District 23B. We're going to make them associate members of Simsbury, because that's the club they want to get notices from. And we've told Simsbury, if you want to do a branch cyber club, I'll come do it. Like we're working right now with Watertown to do a branch cyber club. So, but they're more interested in us housing them, doing the administrative side of it, and they want to just do the service side.
Okay, so when you report the service for these folks, do associate members of your club get included in Lion volunteers for the physical club?
Yes, they can actually be counted in both. So if Simsbury's counting them, we wouldn't in Cyber Lion count them. So like Simsbury might have their annual pancake breakfast, or whatever the event is that they want these 5 at. But these 5 may also, one of the things that we're trying to emphasize this, now that I've been retired a little over 2 years, I volunteer for a gazillion organizations, and all those hours add up. And each of us do a lot of volunteer work that we don't even realize that we do. I've been impressed, Harry and his wife are active in the Autobot Society and Fidelco, and just all kinds of activities. All those hours count towards Lion service, even though it's 1, 2, it's not necessarily the entire club. So that all adds up. So when you're out there reporting on your app, the different service, this all counts too to get to the international record of how much service Lions are providing around the world. Thank you. Other questions? Yes?
Just trying to get it straight in my head. I guess you're the host club for all the other clubs that want to join in?
Okay. So
or does each club have to join in separate? For cyber?
Okay. So for Cyber Lions, we've made the initial determination, because we talked about this last year, about getting a club going, and we've been working on this, because you have to have 20 members for Lions. There's only 10 for Leo, but 20 for Lions. So we've been working to recruit the initial 20 people.
Hi, Harry. I am really enjoying your seminar that you presented with PDG Dave Roberts, entitled Go to Meeting and Go to Webinar. Great job.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
PDG Dave and I had a great time doing this together as a team. But that's going to do it for this episode of Lying Around Connecticut with Carol and Harry. Come back next week for more of our seminar. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
We hope you enjoyed our show this evening. Tune in next week for another Lying Around Connecticut with Carol and Harry. Good night.
Bye-bye.